Hi everyone. So now we will discuss another problem to find subsets of a given string. Okay. So now I'm just going to show you the recursive breakdown. We are not going into how call stack will work. Okay. So this is a nice problem and it is used as a component in solving many other problems or similar time like finding the subset sum or the knapsack problem. So you will find a lot of variations of these kind of problems. Okay. So and they are helpful to make brute force kind of a solutions for many other problems as well. Okay, that's why I'm taking up this problem, because the concept is similar of many other problems. Okay, so it says given a string you need to find subsets of a given string. So let us see how we can generate all the subsets. So it's a brute force approach, because for a given string of, let's say, length n, there are going to be 2 raised to the power n subsets, because for each letter you have two options. So you multiply 2 into 2 into 2, you will get 8 options, and these are the 8 possible subsets that you can get. Subset also means a subsequence. Okay, so do not confuse subset with a substring. So subset is a subsequence and it is not equal to substring. Okay, so a substring is a continuous part of the array where a subsequence can be discontinuous. For example, a and c is a subsequence, it is not a substring. Okay, so let's see how we can solve this problem. So for example, if we have abc, then what we can do, uh, we can say, okay, let us start building our output from a null string, and we read the first character. We can say, okay, we can include a as a output, or we can exclude a, because it has two options. So we can make this output as a, or we can leave it as null. Then we have this as a remaining string. For this remaining string of length n minus 1, we can say, okay, go and find all the subsets. So if we make a recursive call, then that recursive call will give you b, c, null and bc. Okay, so one thing you can do is, once you got all the 4 options, you can make a copy. Okay, and in one of the copy you can add a, and you get all the 8 options. Okay, so this is what we do. We make a recursive call on the smaller sub problem, we get some output, we make 2 copies out of it, and in one copy we can add a, and in one copy we can skip adding a. Okay, sounds like a magic. The answer is, it may sound like a magic, but it is true. Okay, so let us see how this is going to actually happen. So you have a you have made a recursive call on bc. What you will do, you will say, okay, I will work with b, I will make a recursive call on c. You will say, okay, let's take b and let's don't take b, and make a recursive call on c. Okay, and here you will say, okay, let's take c and let's don't take c. Okay, so it will become ab null. Okay, if you take c, it becomes like this. If you don't take c, it becomes like ab. Here also, if you take c, it becomes like ac. If you don't take c, it becomes a. And here what you have in the recursive call, you have sent bc. So if you take b, it becomes b. If you don't take b, it becomes only c. Okay, so whatever I'm writing on the top of the box is what is the remaining string for the next recursive call. So if you take c, it becomes b. If you don't take c, it becomes b. If you take c, it becomes c. If you don't take c, it becomes null. And what is left for the remaining recursive call? Nothing. Okay, you just have null string left. Okay, so you can just terminate at this particular point, because your remaining input is null and you have already got all the subsets that you are going to have. Okay, so the idea is, in order to build brute force solutions like these, you will need to make 2 recursive calls in most problems, or maybe 3 or 4 also, but 2 is a very common structure. Okay, for example, in knapsack problem, you have a choice whether you want to pick that item or you want to exclude that item. Okay, or in order to form a subset sum, maybe I have 3, 5, 8, 6, 4 and 10. Maybe I want to find a subset whose sum is 14, or find all the subset whose sum is 14. What I can do, I can say, okay, I may add 3 in my sum and I will look for a remaining sum of 11, or I will skip 3 and I will look for a remaining sum of 14. So this is what we are going to do. Okay, So I hope you got a very high level idea of how to find subsets. In the next video things will become more clear once we discuss the implementation, and I may take up some more problems on the similar concept.